Hey guys, I'm meteorologist Chris Tomer. Happy New Year 2023. This is the On the Snow Before You Go forecast. So where's the best snow going to be over the next 5 to 7 days? On the spider chart, the more purple you have, higher on the web. And there's a lot of places that will have good snow. That's most of Colorado, especially the western slope. It's northern New Mexico. It's the Tetons. It's the Wasatch. It's parts of Idaho, interior British Columbia, the Pacific Northwest, and the Sierra. Will all have the biggest totals. Here are some of my bullet points here. I think the river runs through about 1.9, and it may go beyond 1.9, but for the sake of this, through 1.9. The biggest totals of all will be in California, Washington, Oregon, and we're still going to see plenty of snow in the interior, but that's where we're going to see feet of accumulation. And the moderate surge, probably the biggest surge of that period, comes on 1.4, 1.5. That's a moderate intensity atmospheric river type surge into California during that time frame of 1.4 and 1.5. Let me show you the setup right now. This is an infrared satellite. You can see the lime green. That's my atmospheric river flow, Pineapple Express, if you will, in two low pressures. One moving in now, another big one. That's the one that's 1.4, 1.5. That'll hit the west coast with a lot of energy in that moderate intensity atmospheric river surge of water vapor. So those are all lined up out in the Pacific right now. Let me show you the flow. But this is interesting. This is 110, so just beyond our period. And it's a much choppier flow. It's not that straight west to east jet that we had from like 12:27 through 1.4. This is a much choppier flow late in the period, and even some ridging in the interior. So the storms that come in will lay down heavy feet of type of snow in California, Washington, Oregon, but as they move into the interior, they're going to fight that ridge stress. So the numbers in Utah and Wyoming and all those places will not be as big as what we're going to see on the coast. All right, let me go back to some of the timing here, and I want to show you the forecast radar in the satellite. So here's Monday morning at 6, big storm moving through Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, and there's some little remnant areas of snow that will come through on 1.3. There's one late 1.4 and a 1.5. Big storm hits the coast, lots of snow up and down the west coast, and then you can kind of see it weakens as it moves into the interior. It weakens as it hits Utah, Wyoming, and Colorado for that matter. And there's 1.6 at 11 p.m. Let me run that one more time for you. So there's Monday morning at 6. Here's Tuesday morning at 6. Here's 1.4 in the morning, and then late 1.4 into 1.5, big storm hits the west coast and then begins to move into the interior, but it's not as consolidated through 1.6 in the interior. All right, let's talk about totals. We'll look at the west first. So this is 1.2 through 1.9. Obviously, the biggest numbers are in the Sierra, 40 to 50 through Tahoe down to Mammoth, but potentially 75 up around Shasta. We're looking at 1 to 3 feet up in the Pacific Northwest, Washington, Oregon, and interior BC. Idaho actually does well, especially from Brundage down to Sun Valley. I'm looking at about a foot for the Tetons, about a foot for the Wasatch. Brian Head gets a little over a foot. In Colorado, generally 1 to 2 feet of snow through that entire period. Most of that's across the western slope, so focus on that area. Less accumulation as you hit Summit County, generally going east of Vail. It's less into Summit County and right up and down the Front Range high peaks. And actually northern New Mexico does well with like 6 to 14 inches of accumulation. Now let's talk about the east. Now the east, there's a nice sized storm system coming through. But unfortunately, it starts as rain on, I believe, 1.3. It's going to be rain, and then it turns over to snow on the back side. So there's going to be some accumulation. And then there'll be some light accumulation down the road as well, late in the period with a clipper that comes through. But I just don't see anything big, especially with this primary storm system being rain. For the first part of it before it turns over to snow. That's going to cut down on snow accumulation. So really my pick is out west. That's my Tomer's take. And Colorado, the Tetons, Wasatch, Sierra, the Pacific Northwest, Idaho all look very good through this period. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in here for this On the Snow Before You Go forecast.